in the music department, we meet at the copy machine. This is where we see each other. We're always finding little studies and things that students are missing or something, so we're making copy. I ran into Charlotte, and we started to realize that Charlotte has 3 or 4 years left of her teaching here. And just out of the whim, I asked her if she would let the UNF Orchestra and me do the honor of giving her a special send-off. And she graciously agreed. And so we talked about the idea of commissioning a concerto. And so that's how this all came about.
Charlotte Mabry is a distinguished professor. She's been our percussion professor since the late 1970s. She's been the principal percussionist with the Jacksonville Symphony. Simon came to me and he said, Charlotte, there's nobody like Charlotte. We need to send her out right, have a piece that commissioned for her to perform that really showcases her.
Throughout music history, there are always patrons that supported the arts. And we study them and appreciate them now because their support for the arts. And I think that's a really important point, and we're so grateful for the anonymous donor that contributed towards this commission. After we secured the funding for the commission of the percussion concerto for Charlotte, we discussed what would be a great piece for her to perform and to premiere. And so we discussed a few possibilities, our composer friends, nationally, regionally, and we agreed on a composer by the name of Piotr Szewczyk, who is a Polish-American and a member of the Jacksonville Symphony. And he writes really wonderful music, very energetic, very rhythmic, and just lots of fun.
And very hard. Let's go there. He and I met for lunch one day after we were at a symphony rehearsal and sort of laid out the kind of music that I like to listen to and learn, and mentioned composers and their compositional style, and fortunately we were way on the same page. And he just was all about it.
One thing that's really exciting about this piece, there wasn't any specific request in terms of the type of composition, how many movements it should be and so forth. The only thing that I wish for Charlotte and for her students is that there will be some interaction between the solo percussion and the student percussion. And this is where it really came together perfectly, because you can hear in some of the clips, there are really direct contacts and interactions. Charlotte has to play off of the percussion parts, and percussions therefore answers to the solo line. So that just, for me, works out perfectly for this occasion.
Boy, he did. In the last movement, there's a lot of sort of call and response, I guess you'd call it, and just interaction between the kids that are playing and myself. And it's exactly what you asked for, I think. His music is very difficult. I've talked to people who've played other pieces, but I feel like that he is sort of bringing us up to what he's writing. And I don't mean that to be snobby or anything, but I have been incredibly challenged by this piece. Just the speed alone, but that's a part of his energy.
As I tell my students, we play dead people music. All the composers that we play in the classical field, 99% of them are long dead and gone. And so that's what makes this particular commission especially exciting, is because Piotr lives here. And so he was able to come to rehearsal and tell us about the inspirations behind the music, and really kind of explain it to us step by step along the way. Another great lesson from commissioning a brand new piece is that throughout history, you hear music being performed for the first time. And the most common review were that the music was too difficult. It's too hard to play because it's brand new, it hasn't been tried out, there's just techniques that are pushing the boundary. And so I feel very good about Charlotte's point in that it indeed allows the composer to really captures what is really exciting, and perhaps it's difficult. I'm sorry you
No,
have
no.
to work so many
No, no,
hours
no, no,
on
no.
this,
It's worth
but
it.
I think it just really pushes the envelope in terms of what percussion concerto can be about, and I think this is a really terrific piece. For me, is a coming out party for the orchestra because Charlotte has been the biggest supporter from day one. I started 13 years ago with 9 players in the orchestra, 3 violins. And to see it grow to this size and be able to do a world premiere is tremendously exciting. After they experience a world premiere, I hope they get the feeling of this incredible excitement that they want to do this over and over and over again. Because I think that's the greatest contribution we can teach our students. With so many other colleagues and great musicians, that's their job number 1, is to support living music, living composers. So I feel very good about this experience, and I hope that many of them take away from this experience wanting to do more. I think that excitement is what makes the concert really special.
Right. That crackles in the air when it's right, you know? It's great.